Welcome to KXAN News Today. Here are your Friday morning headlines. The family of Texas death row inmate Rodney Reed is going to rally with supporters today in Austin. They plan to meet this afternoon at 2 in front of the Texas Court of Criminal Appeals. Yesterday marked 25 years since Reed was convicted of killing Stacy Stites. His supporters are calling for a new trial. In April, the Supreme Court sided with Reed, saying a lower court wrongfully dismissed Reed's lawsuit. It sought further crime scene DNA testing.
33 new cadets are joining the Austin Police Department as officers. The 147th cadet class graduates tonight at 6. APD leaders said they still have about 300 vacancies.
Senator John Cornyn will be at the Moody Center today discussing legislative reforms to the current ticketing system for live performances and events. He says the current system is hurting fans, Texas venues, artists, and sports teams. Teachers and counselors working in Austin ISD are soon going to get paid more. School board approving giving all teachers and counselors a big pay raise. Good morning, I'm Tom Miller.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Sally Hernandez. Say you're waking up to the Board of Trustees approving last night a 7% raise. A Change Education advocate and the board say it's going to help with recruitment and it's going to keep teachers from leaving.
There is a real risk if we don't invest in our employees right now. And the risk there is our students are not going to learn.
Before this, the starting pay for a first-time AISD teacher was about $52,000. The president of Education Austin, the teachers union, says the pay raise is just one way to show teachers and staff respect.
It's becoming impossible to live in Austin. What this does, a $4 an hour increase, makes it a little more possible to be here. It changes the game for a lot of people.
Texas is reeling from a record number of teacher resignations. KXAN investigators obtained exit forms from hundreds of Austin ISD teachers who quit their jobs. Similar data from several other districts across the state as well, and they all reveal how inflation, stagnant salaries, and last-minute legislative mandates led to statewide teacher shortages.
All right, a cooler weekend ahead, and we're starting off today with some good weather.
Yeah, today's supposed to be warm and sunny. That is until later. We have meteorologist Kristen Curry here looking at that.
Yeah, good morning, guys. Hey, I wanted to show you when it comes to our forecast here, the storm chances that you're going to find, those don't come in until this afternoon and evening. So it is going to be a nice start to the day. A little bit of cloud cover, dry conditions for the hour. Temperatures are in the 60s and 70s. In fact, these temperatures right now, just a little bit warmer than what we had yesterday, about 5 to 7 degrees warmer in most spots. And we're going to continue to see that warming trend through the day today. 70s climbing to 80s around lunchtime. Forecast high 93. So it is going to be a hot afternoon. That heat helping to trigger some of these storms early, and then we'll see better coverage. So a better rain chance here once we get into this evening and night. Air quality has improved some, still in that moderate category. Wanted to update you on that, considering yesterday we were looking at those elevated levels of ground ozone. That's not going to be quite as bad today, but our focus has now turned to the storm threat. I'm going to time out today's storms for you, show you when I expect some of the stronger storms, because there will be a severe risk later this afternoon and evening. We've got some cooler weekend weather ahead. In fact, your temperature is dropping over 10 degrees by the time we reach tomorrow afternoon, but it will be quieter next week. Not completely dry, but also not quite as active as the heavy rain we had to start this week. So a lot to get to. I've got the details here in just about 10 to 15 minutes.
Hey, see you then, Kristen. Thank you. Some safety changes will soon come to another part of Austin, a very congested part. Austin City Council approved nearly $1 million for the intersection of FM 969 and Regency Drive, that is east of 183. The planned improvements include a new traffic signal, a raised concrete median, and an ADA-compliant ramp. Pedestrian crossings will also be added, as well as a new sidewalk. The project is currently under design, and the set is beginning construction next year.
The U.S. is currently seeing the biggest drop in home prices in 11 years. Sales of existing homes falling 3.4% in April. They are now down 23% from a year ago, putting the median price for a house down to about $389,000. Here in Austin, the Austin Board of Realtors says our area median price fell about 15% to $467,000. Coming up this morning on Today, breaking down the latest numbers on a slowing housing market.
An update on downtown Austin safety. Which crimes police say they're seeing more of?
And mail thefts are up. Why a group dedicated to stopping it says it'd like some help, but isn't getting it.
Hey, live look outside. We are mild and quiet this morning, but boy, does this change later on this afternoon and evening. We're tracking the risk of some strong thunderstorms for your Friday evening, which we'll talk more about here in just a few minutes. Hey, it turns out that the sun can be used to clean our streets. Meteorologist Nick Bannon found a one-of-a-kind device that made its debut right here in Austin.
Recently, you may have seen a strange contraption picking up trash along the streets of Austin.
This is the Solar Roomba 4000.
Wait, what is it?
It's basically just an oversized version of what most people use in their home.
Freedom Solar made a big self-powered Roomba.
Underneath the solar panel here, which is how it gets its power, there's a sort of a street sweeping vacuum element that as it moves forward picks up the trash and puts it in a bin that we can empty out.
It took some development and a lot of welding to put together.
It was an idea that we've kind of talked about and batted around, and then to see it actually work was a bit of an aha moment for us. We were pretty pumped about it.
But once it was ready, it debuted in Austin on Earth Day, and not just to turn a few heads.
One is to show that solar can do more than you think it can do. Two was to raise awareness for Earth Day. And the third was to show that each little thing that we do makes a difference.
The Solar Roomba 4000 measures 7 feet in diameter. It can pick up to 110 pounds of trash per load, and it's got a top speed of 12 miles per hour. While you won't see this oversized vacuum cleaning the streets of Austin every day, Freedom Solar hope the message sticks.
We wanted to show people not just on Earth Day, but every day that solar is actually one of the best ways that you can improve your environmental footprint and save some money in the process.
As for next year,
we will definitely be going bigger and louder, so stay tuned. More to come.
In Austin, meteorologist Nick Bannon, KXAN News.
Whoa, how big?
I know. Loud. What? This thing makes noise?
I'm sort of disappointed that it's not running all the time. I mean,
Yeah.
It'd be fun to see, wouldn't it?
We already have all the other automated stuff going.
Ooh,
And Austin's like a city where most people won't even think twice if
Right.
you see
It's
room on
Not
the
true.
street.
Like, oh yeah, there,
Yeah, like not sure what it is, but it's probably supposed to be here. Let me show you what's going on with your forecast here. Happy Friday. We are nice and quiet this morning. A little bit of cloud cover that I'm not worried about. It's going to be later this afternoon that we start seeing some things falling from the sky. Yeah, we got rain possible later on, and unfortunately the risk is some strong to severe storms on your Friday, but we've got some time to prepare. So let's get you out the door. 72 degrees this morning, humidity at 84%. Your south-southwest winds are at about 5 to 10 miles per hour. Those winds will get up to about 10 to 15 as we transition into the later part of today. Temperatures, it's going to be hot. 93 is the forecast high. For perspective, yesterday we hit 91. So hot and steamy with rain chances starting at 20% this afternoon and then rising to about 50% as we get into the late afternoon, evening hours. Temperature-wise, this is a look at your high temperature forecast. 80s and 90s for most. What sticks out? The 70s up in the northwest. That's the high resolution model picking up on some of those storms developing and moving into the region, pushing southeast across the area. Think Hill Country, you're going to get it first. Watch this. Putting this into motion here. Between now and lunchtime, I expect more sun than clouds. But once we get into the daytime heating, that will power up these storms. Isolated in coverage initially around 4 or 5 o'clock. And then you'll notice those storms kind of growing in coverage and intensity as a cold front comes in behind it around 7, 8, 9 p.m. These storms are starting to intensify. And they do, according to this model, reach the I-35 corridor. I think that's a very real possibility. So, Austin, if you've got late Friday night plans, we need to make sure we are staying weather aware because this activity could linger through about midnight and then it slowly starts to fall apart after that. It's a 2 out of 5 risk for everybody in yellow, which does include all of the hill country. all of the Austin Metro and about half of our eastern counties. What does this mean? This means that we could see some severe storms, and the threats today will be large hail, damaging winds, and some minor flooding issues. Now, this is just one interpretation of what rainfall could look like between now and tomorrow morning. These isolated 4 or 5 inch projections, a little extreme. I think in general, these rain showers and thunderstorms could easily put down 1 to 3 inches, but that will be in spots. It won't be widespread flooding. Weekend forecast, look at the temperature difference here. Talk about a cold front's taking off 10-15 degrees off these high temperatures in the 90s today, but we're going to continue to watch for a couple spot showers. Now tomorrow, most of this I think will be in the morning, but if that storm activity clears pretty quickly tonight, leaves us for a better potential for a couple spot showers in the afternoon. So I would just be watching for 1 or 2 showers here and there tomorrow. It's not going to be widespread and it's not going to be severe. Couple spot showers possible Sunday, and then relatively dry next week. Only 10% chance of an isolated shower here and there, and more sunshine, meaning temperatures warming up back to the 90s by middle of next week.
All right, one of Austin's most dangerous and busy roads is about to see some changes.
Yeah, we're talking about the stretch of North Lamar between Parmer and Breaker Lanes. It's going to get some speed limit adjustments. KXAN's Grace Reeder takes a look at the changes council approved and why some don't think it's a good idea.
It is very fast-paced traffic.
Yes, the driving's crazy.
It's got a reputation. North Lamar Boulevard is one of Austin's most dangerous places to drive, and on the city's high-injury roadways list, which is a short list of roads where people frequently get hurt or die.
Pulling out of the street, out of the neighborhood onto Lamar gets a little bit hectic.
From here where I'm standing at Breaker all the way to Parmer, the speed limit right now is 50 miles an hour, but Austin City Council voted today to change that.
I think it's a welcome change.
TxDOT says people in this area reached out to them to see if the speed limit could be lowered. So the state agency did a traffic study and recommended the speed limit from Parmer Lane to Oak Brook Drive go down to 45 miles an hour, and that from there to Breaker Lane go down to 40. Austin City Council signed off on that change today. Some neighbors told us it's about time.
On Lamar, it's just so hectic, and it always feels like a rat race, and people are trying to cut people off, and so yeah, slowing down the traffic here would be a welcome change.
But others said people are already speeding, and they don't think it'll make much of a difference.
People are still going to speed. Yeah, that's just the fact, and if you want to get caught by the police, that's up to you. You take the risk.
Grace Reeder, KXAN News.
There are 2 schools along this stretch of road, the Brentwood Christian School and Not Your Ordinary School, which is a charter school. Speed limit by those schools is going to be dropped to 30 miles an hour. Digging deeper here, the city's Vision Zero program identified North Lamar as one of Austin's most busy roads with injuries. Back in 2016, city engineers found problems like turning lanes that weren't long enough. They also found traffic signals causing confusion and drivers crossing over multiple lanes of traffic, putting others at risk. Since then, the city conducted several improvements to cut down on those deadly crashes and injuries. Also this morning, more people are getting their mail stolen.
Yeah, as the numbers climb across the country and right here in Central Texas, there is a group that thinks it can help, but it doesn't have the power to do it. KXAN's Brianna Hollis learns how postal police haven't had the authority to patrol since 2020.
Somebody was with, it looks like with a screwdriver or something, was trying to pry this open.
Mike Miles has been dealing with various mail headaches for the past 2 years.
We did have the entire boxes removed at one point. There's bolts on the bottom, and someone came along, took the bolts off, and tried to carry the entire box away.
The U.S. Postal Service reports nearly 40,000 mail theft incidents last fiscal year, and just 7 months into this fiscal year, we've already seen 25,000 reported.
Mail theft is surging. Attacks on letter carriers has absolutely exploded.
Frank Albergo is the national president of the Postal Police Office Association.
So we were using intelligence-led policing. We were targeting specific zip codes where mail theft was most prevalent, and it was working.
A 2020 memo from the Postal Inspection Service ordered postal police officers to stop patrolling city streets. In their current role, they only provide security on USPS property. This month, USPS rolled out new crime prevention measures like fortified blue mailboxes, electric locks, and more secure verification for address changes. Albergo worries that's not enough.
During a crime wave, a postal crime wave, you would think that when postal police officers are needed most, that's when we would be utilized.
I'm sure these sort of problems aren't new. You know, mail theft and that has gone on for a long time, but it just seems to not be handled like it used to be.
Brianna Hollis, KXAN News.
Al Burgo says a bill to give postal police officers more enforcement power is actually currently with the Congressional Committee.
Disney is announcing it's going to scrap some plans for a new employee campus near Orlando. The company, one of Florida's largest employers, comes at a time when Disney is feuding with the state's governor, Ron DeSantis. This new campus would have relocated nearly 2,000 California-based workers.
Here's a question that's been lighting up on social media. Should adult children who live at home be paying rent to their parents? Yeah, I heard a yes in the background. It is a topic more families are wrestling with, as half of U.S. adults 18 to 29 years old are living with one or both parents. In Gainesville, up near Dallas, just days after her high school graduation, Kylie Deason says she wrote her parents her first rent check.
I would much rather have to pay my mom and dad $200 a month than have to go pay somebody else $800. Like that's insane to me to want to go do that. So the $200 a month to me sounded like an amazing deal.
Yeah, it does. Coming up on the Today Show, while it may sound like tough love, the Deason family explains why the arrangement was actually the best thing for her, and a look at whether it may make sense for your family.
This is KXAN Sports, brought to you by Thomas J. Henry.
Good morning to you. What a start to the Longhorns' final regular season series against Big 12 leading West Virginia. Texas still with an outside chance to share the conference title, but a lot of things in between could happen as well. Lucas Gordon was outstanding in a starting pitching role, and the Longhorns jump on the Mountaineers. Dylan Campbell extends that UT record hit streak to 31 games with the bunt single. Bases loaded, no outs, and Porter Brown gives Texas a 1-0 lead. Remember that name. Longhorns, though, leave the bases loaded. Kind of a missed opportunity, but then they continue to cash in. Second inning, Peyton Powell, 2-run single. West Virginia did not throw either of their top two starters, and Longhorns teed off. Porter Brown came into the game. In 53 games, he had 9 home runs. There's number 10. There's number 11. Remember earlier in the week we did that story on Porter Brown? He had a brief career as a I model. Well, to say he was seeing the ball well is an understatement. There it is. Third straight home run in the ball game. Only 6 other Longhorns have done that. Texas, a big win over a top 10 team, and for Porter Brown, a historic night.
You don't wake up every morning saying I'm going to hit 3 home runs in a game. So hit the first one. The second one was crazy, and the third one I kind of blocked out a little bit.
So that's one. Longhorns now 2 behind West Virginia. Oklahoma State won, so they're sitting there in second, a game back. 6:30 tonight. Longhorns will try to wrap up a series clincher, rather, and then the final regular season game set for tomorrow afternoon.
Thanks for joining KXAN News today. You can also listen to KXAN News Nightly every weekday after 5:30 p.m. for in-depth coverage on what matters most to you.